Hello and welcome once again to my channel. My name is Oge from Abuja, Nigeria. If today is your first time on my channel, you're welcome, and if you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me. I share healthy recipes, healthy living ideas and tips on how to be healthy on a budget, modest lifestyle, budgeting, cutting costs, and of course great recipes and a lot more about home management and all of that. So subscribe if you have not yet subscribed.
Don't you sit there, baby? Come and grab my body.
In today's video, we're sharing how to preserve your ripe plantains. I eat a lot of plantains, especially when they are unripe. But yeah, when I have plantains, when they are also ripe, I make use of them for beans and boiled. I don't really like to fry my food, so but yeah, once I have them around, this is how I preserve them, and they get to last me for up to 2 weeks or even more. After 2 weeks, the color may still remain not as bright as it is, but sometimes it will darken, but not necessarily. When it's darkened, doesn't necessarily mean it is bad. But here is how to go about it. This is ripe plantain that I bought. The first thing you want to do is to remove it from the stock, because you're going to be saving a lot of space by so doing. If you have unripe plantains, you want to also try another. I'll be showing you in another video how to preserve your unripe plantains. But this is for the ripe plantains. This is really two methods. There are two methods. This is the refrigeration method, that you store this in the refrigerator. But if you're going to be storing in the freezer, of course it requires a different method, even if you can just cut it up and then throw it in your freezer. But when it's time to use up, it may be a little bit of challenge, but I'll be doing a separate video on that. But this one is just to show you how to store it in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks and even more. With this, if you have steady power supply, you don't need to worry or panic when you have your plantains in the fridge. I personally am a kind of person that like to buy things once a month, and then of course definitely I'm going to buy things in the course of the month. But I like to have foods around, and so that when I want to prepare, I don't really do a lot of meal planning. I have my meal plan in my head. That sounds funny, but that's how it works for me. I don't want to decide, okay, today, because when we have, for instance, beans in the budget, this is an old newspaper that I'm using. Old envelope. You can use an old newspaper if that is what you have. They do the same job. So if I have beans, for instance, on my list of timetable, I want to make it either beans and rice, or beans and plantain, or beans and yam, or beans, or just plain beans, or beans we're going to have with gari, or even moi moi. So if it's a day for beans and plantain, for instance, I want to have my plantains ready. And in a week, we might do boiled plantain, we may do fried plantain, which we hardly do, and we can also do plantain and beans. So I don't want to have to run around buying plantain when I need it. It should be in my fridge. When the time comes, I just use. That's what works for me, guys. But of course, you know what works for you. So I've put these plantains inside this envelope now, and the next thing is just to wrap them up and then put in your fridge. You don't need to panic when you have this method going. I've shared videos on how to preserve your ugu or fresh vegetables, both in the freezer and of course in the fridge, or even drying method. I'll be linking all that to this video, guys. The nylon you're using for this should just ensure that it has no hole in it, because if there's a hole, then there will be room for moisture to get in. The idea in all of this, note that I didn't wash the plantain, guys. I didn't wash it. It is completely dry, because moisture, that is water, helps to trap bacteria, and then once the bacteria gets in, it starts to decompose and then spoil. Eventually your food or whatever it is you're storing starts to decompose and it starts to spoil. But with it, as it's dry now, the nylon is going to help prevent water from getting into the newspaper or the envelope, and the newspaper is going to help to trap all the moisture from eventually, because of fluctuation in temperature, because we're in Nigeria, sometimes there's no light, and of course you can't be putting on your generator all the time 24/7. So sometimes there may be blackout or idle times when there's no power in the fridge. I'm just removing this from the nylon, from the envelope, and I'm going to be putting it inside the Ziploc bag just for clarity for those of you that need to. If you don't have an envelope or newspaper, you can just use a deep Ziploc bag, and it can also last you for up to 2 weeks. Yes guys, but the newspaper or the envelope helps to make it last longer. That's why I'm sharing that with you guys. So if you have your processes and everything, I'll also be sharing another way to store vegetables that are easy, cheap, and then easy to use. I'll be sharing you guys many more useful videos. I hope you like this video. I hope you enjoy it. So after putting the Ziploc bag, you just want to close it tightly, and then make sure that you get all the air out of the Ziploc bag. Just try to make sure you get as much air as possible out of the Ziploc bag, and then you're good to go. With this, you just have rest of mind, and you don't need to worry about your plantains in your refrigerator. I hope this video is helpful to you guys, and I hope you like it, or you like such content. I would like to know if you do by giving me, if you give me a thumbs up, and of course you subscribe to my channel. It really helps me. And then share with your friends. Do drop your comments below. Let me know if you have any questions or any feedback or anything of that nature. If you have any suggestions as well, it is highly welcome. I'll be seeing you guys in another video. Bye.